We get asked all the time, why did we sell our old boat odd to build a similar size aluminum one?
Yeah, there are so many different little reasons why we wanted to do a new design. Of course, many of those reasons we could just do a refit and fix little things and make the boat even better. But there is one point that is really important to us that we thought so many times how to fix, and we could never find a solution without building a new boat. So we decided to build a new boat. So if you didn't watch last week's episode, they flipped the boat upside down so they could finish the exterior welds of the boat. And now that the boat is level, it's time to start working on the next big project. And this one is actually going to be the cockpit. The cockpit is composed of so many different little and big pieces. It's a big puzzle. And the start of all of that is the floor of the cockpit. So now they're going to prepare the big panel that sits in between the seats, and they're going to prepare that so they can weld outside of the boat, and then they can bring in on the boat and weld in place. And from there, I guess they're just going to keep building up, and eventually, hopefully by next week, we have a cockpit.
Hi, I'm Roberta.
And I'm Duca.
And after bringing a sailboat that was neglected for over 22 years back to life, we moved aboard, and for the next 2 years we explored the Brazilian coast and part of the Caribbean, where we got an offer that changed our lives once again. We sold our boat and we moved to France, where we are building our new 43-foot aluminum Exploration Sailboat.
And while the boatyard is building the hull of our new sailboat, we are learning the craft by converting a camper van to get ready to build the interior and all the systems of the boat ourselves.
So don't forget to subscribe and to join us every Sunday for a new episode.
So the first step in order to install the main plate on the floor of the cockpit is to weld some stringers on the bottom of the floor. The reason for that is because when you have a big aluminum plate, it flexes too much. And when you weld stringers on the bottom, it's much more rigid. For example, imagine a flat aluminum bar. It can bend really easy, but if you have a T-section bar, it's much harder to bend. So just like the floor of the cockpit, the bulkheads, the watertight bulkheads also need stiffeners. But these ones need to be really precise because they are the guide for them to weld the rest of the plates of the cockpit. Before I forget, there is one little component that is hard to see on the cockpit, but that is really, really important, and that is this pipe. This is the drainage for water on the cockpit. We have a really big cockpit, and that means sometimes if it rains or if you have a wave hitting you to the side, it can full with water, and due to the size of the cockpit, it's a lot of water, a lot of volume of water, and there must be a way to drain this water quick. And these pipes are really thick because of that, and they are according to, of course, the CE certification, and they are the way they're supposed to be. We just did one little modification on the design. Originally, the design had 80 millimeters exterior pipe with 5 millimeters wall. That means 70 millimeters internal diameter. We asked them to replace for a 90 millimeters external with 10 millimeter walls and 70 inside. So that means we have exactly the same internal diameter, that is what matters, but we have double thickness of the walls. And you might wonder, why would you do that? 5 millimeters is already really thick. The truth is, we had the same system on our old boat, and it's really hard to inspect. It's really hard to see the condition of the pipe inside. And as the pipe is right on the center of the cockpit, half of the pipe is going to be under the water line. That means it's going to be always filled with salt water. It's hard to paint, to protect. So if we have double thickness, that means we have a lot longer life in case of a little bit of corrosion. It's much easier to just have a thicker pipe than to cut and install a new pipe in the future. So just for peace of mind, I really like the thicker pipe, and also it's just like a tiny pipe that is not going to increase that much the weight of the boat. It's not going to make any difference. The price is also not going to change much. So why not do it? I think it's something that just make you feel better, because if there is corrosion and you don't see, you get water coming inside. Of course, we won't sink because of that. We have a watertight bulkhead right in front, but it can be a big problem. We don't want to do that. So why not? But now, back to the build.
Yeah, I know that the cockpit's not 100% ready yet.
Yeah, but we can feel already the size, like the, you know, how wide it is, how the seat is gonna be, the visibility. We can see a lot of things.
I saw from the outside. I've never been inside.
Yeah, Roberta is being at home a lot more than the boatyard lately, because it's not a nice place for a 2-month-old baby to be, you know, is breathing aluminum dust.
And
doesn't make any sense.
As well.
And for the, yeah, the cockpit. I mean, of course, there are things that could be better. The visibility could be a little bit better, but when you design something, it's a compromise. If you want this, you cannot have that. You cannot have everything. I would say it's 95% of what I expected, and that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Let me describe to you how was our old cockpit. Roberta, how was our old cockpit?
It was really tiny. I'm short and I couldn't lay down on the cockpit. Not comfortable at all.
The seat was really, really narrow with the steering wheel right on the seat. So there is not even space for my legs to go through because the steering is right on the seat. And you might say, but you're gonna go sailing, you don't need to be laying down. I mean, when you sail for 2 weeks offshore, you want to lay down. Sometimes you want to rest on the cockpit, and sometimes you even want to sleep on the cockpit. And that was so tiny. And the reason for that is because that boat was designed for winter. It wasn't designed to be outside all the time. It was designed to be inside most of the time. And with that comes a really tiny hatch, companionway door, that was really hard to go in and out. That means the boat was separate. The inside was one part, the outside was another part.
5 steps to go down.
Yeah, and that means like you are either out or in. You're not like, it's not one space. It's just 2 separate spaces. Also was really hard the access to the water. Even though we had a stern platform, the platform was really high. The ladder was not really good.
Up the seats to go out.
Yeah, so was not the most comfortable cockpit. And that is impossible to fix on a refit. We needed to cut all over the place the boat, and then to be honest, the boat would become a Frankenstein that doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you want those kind of chains, you need to get a new boat.
And we didn't want to, because the boat was hot galvanized, and we didn't want to lose the galvanization as well.
Yeah, so that means this. Oh, also there is one more point. There was no space for storage. We had one small lazarette on the stern.
For everything.
For everything, and there was really hard to store things because it was one little hatch, and then you put things, and to get one little thing behind, you take everything out, and when you're sailing, it's just impossible. It was so annoying. On this boat, on the other hand, we have almost double width seats. That means it's like a day bed. 1.8 meters long that I can literally sleep really well. 2, 1 in each side. We have a big table on the cockpit.
We didn't have any table before.
We didn't have a table before. We have 2 steering wheels, so the steering is not on the center, and that means the cockpit is free. When you lower down the stern platform, you can walk straight from the stern all the way to the V-berth. It's one continuous line of free walkway.
Steps inside, but that's it.
Like 3 steps inside. But from the cockpit to the inside of the boat, no steps at all. Just a really high door that's 1.8 meters high by, I believe, 60 centimeters. So that means like a regular door. Oh, by the way, watertight, because you might wonder, so if a wave crashes in the cockpit, it's going to be dangerous. It's like a fully watertight door.
That is divided in 2. So while we are sailing, we can close the bottom part of the door. So it's like 60 centimeters.
I think like 50 centimeters. 50.
So it's according to the laws, according to the regulations.
Yeah, the CE certification would not allow a full-length door all the way to the floor. Otherwise, the wave or the rain could go inside the boat. So we divide in 2 for that reason, and I think it's a really good idea because otherwise, you know, you can get water inside really easy. And if the weather is really, really bad, you close both doors and you're still inside. So it's all good. On the stern, the seat behind the steering wheel, it's a long seat from one side of the boat to the other, and that's like, I think it's like 4.2 meters long.
So to have friends aboard, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like a catamaran.
Yeah, you can have as many friends as you want. The only problem,
monocat.
Yeah, the only problem is the visibility a little bit. On the helm, it's easier to see sitting through the windows.
But it's a compromise.
It's a compromise. Yeah, we wanted to have the full deck saloon, a real deck saloon, and in order to have that, you have a high roof that you can see over the top, but you cannot see the bow really easy, but you can see through the sides.
Actually,
so you just steer to the side and you can see everything.
Sailing for 2 years on our old boat, we know that we are going to be inside most of the time.
Yeah,
and we were never on the helm.
Yeah, this is like inside and outside is literally one place.
Yeah.
We still don't know how the bimini is going to be, but we want to have a bimini to make sure that it's one place that we can hang out even on rain. Yeah. But that's for the future.
Or hot sun.
One step at a time. For now, we keep going on the building. So what to expect for the next video? We're going to either do the roof of the deck saloon or the tanks, the diesel and water tanks. That is a really cool system that the tank is integrated to the hull, because different to the cockpit, what we like on our old boat, we want to have the same. And that's the way we had on our old boat. We're just going to fix one big mistake that I think they did on the old boat. We're going to fix on these things. But we're going to talk about that in the next video. But
that
now,
we don't know if it's next week or the week later.
Whenever we manage to edit the video.
But before we go, we want to thank all the support we had on the last video.
Yeah, if you didn't watch our last week's video, it's basically the one that we sit down and we complain about life for 35 minutes. By the way, that's 100% how we feel. That's not a video just for a clickbait. That's literally how our last 15 months were, and was not easy at all. But it's life. Sometimes, you know, you make mistakes, you fix mistakes, and we believe on the long term it's gonna be worth. And for that, we need to thank you guys. We really, really appreciate everyone that watched our videos and every little message we got of support last week, because that makes us feel like we are not going on the wrong direction, and that psychologically helps a lot. Even though it seems simple, it means a lot to us.
And also we want to welcome on board our new patrons for this week. Thanks so much, guys.
And thanks for the PayPal donations. These literally make us keep afloat, keep us moving. Thanks so much. We really appreciate you guys supporting our video production. This is literally our dream coming true, and thanks to you guys and thanks to everyone that watched our videos, this is possible right now. And you might say, because last video I said that we are not making enough on YouTube and that we are building the boat with our savings. Yes, we are, but the savings come from 8 years of videos. So 100% of our savings come from you guys.
From
so you,
people that watches our videos.
Yeah, you are the responsible for us being here right now in this place that you have no idea which country we are, and that is where we are going to build our new boat. We are going to talk about this in a future video, maybe like 2 videos ahead. For now, if you really like what you're watching and you like the progress of our boat, just subscribe to the channel, please. We never do that, but lately we've been doing that, and it actually works because people subscribe. And if people, yeah, it's true. Like I don't like to do that, but the last 2 videos I asked to subscribe, so more people actually did subscribe.
It's free.
And then the algorithm thinks, oh, they like this video, more people like, and more views. So it actually helps us. It's weird, but it actually helps us. So if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. And also, if you really enjoy the content we create and you want to become a patron, that would be really awesome. We do on Patreon some really live updates.
Yeah, we do weekly updates for patrons.
Yep.
And there is a train. It's a hint where we are.
Yeah, just pass by.
So we do weekly updates on the Patreon platform. And you might be wondering, where is our baby?
Our baby's with my mom because he just woke up and it's really cold outside, as you can tell, so he needs to rest a little bit. And my mom is excited because she's leaving soon back to Brazil, so she's hanging out with Ollie and enjoying him a little bit. Time for me to stop talking because it's really cold. It's time to go home. We see you on the next one.
See you.
See you.